Today, friends, we're going to upgrade our SVG skills with Inkscape Tinkercad, and we're going to use all that to make a wicked cool cake pop mold. So let's get cracking. Step one of the project is to find an image. I have searched for pumpkin 2D clip art. I want one that is not too complex. This one would be fine. I'm going to pick this one right here though. And all I need to do is get a screenshot of it. I've got a screenshot tool where I can just use a shortcut and grab it just like that. Once I've got it, I'm going to export it as a PNG. It's as simple as clicking 3 times and bingo, it's saved to my screenshot folder. Now we need to switch to Inkscape. It's totally free. You can find it at inkscape.org. We're going to start a brand new document. And then in that document, I'm going to choose File, Import, and I'm going to grab that pumpkin. Notice after a moment, it shows up at the top of the list. When I import it, I'm just going to keep the defaults, embed from file, none, and tell it OK. Now the cool trick we want to use here is trace the bitmap. If we click on path, we can choose trace bitmap. Notice this is giving me these gray edges. Instead of brightness cutoff, I just want edge detection. Bingo, that is the outside of it, but notice these speckles, I don't really want those. So I'm going to see what happens if I tweak this, update the preview. I'm going to back up the threshold. Let's see what happens if I move it a little further. That's the one I want. Notice that way it auto-updated, and I've just got the outside edges, and I'm going to hit apply. If I drag this away, you can see this is my cool pumpkin shape. This is the one I no longer need, so I'm just going to simply hit delete. Now to zoom in our shape, we can hold Control and zoom. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to left click so there's no fill. That made it so it disappeared. And then I'm going to right click on red, and I'm going to set that to the stroke. Now you'll notice that this looks like one thick line, but check this out. If we go to the Fill and Stroke menu, which you can also find under the Object menu, and we check Stroke Style, if we set this to 0.1, it was really 2 sets of lines. So if you exported this into Tinkercad, you wouldn't have the standard silhouette mode that you want. So what we're going to do is click on this, and we're going to do Path, Break Apart. This makes them into 2 pieces, and we can prove that by right-clicking on a different color. Let's say we choose the black one and set that as the stroke. So I had the inside one, and that's the outside one. I could have also shown you by left-clicking, and that would have shown it. Now that we have this one, though, I'm going to tell you that we want to delete it. We only want a single one. This helps us unlock the cool Tinkercad inner fill and outer fill tricks. So let's zoom out. Once again, Control minus. And this is the magic skill I'm going to share today. This line, no matter how thick you make it, so right now, watch this, I'm going to make it 3. If I export this to Tinkercad, it's really only going to export that 0.1. No matter how thick you make that shape, Tinkercad's going to get a file because SVGs are saved with code, and it's only going to have this outer dimension. The width of that line is a separate property, and Tinkercad doesn't import it. So check it out. Here's how we're going to beat this. I'm going to set the fill to black. I'm going to set the stroke to black. So they're the same thickness. I'm going to set this to 1 for how thick I want that stroke to be. If you can handle thinking back, that means the little red line has a 0.5 millimeter outside and a 0.5 millimeter inside. That's going to be our gap. So now we need a program that's not as smart to make our SVG, a program that doesn't know that little red line was inside there. Here's how we're going to make that happen. File, Export. We are going to export as a PNG. I'm going to put it in my Downloads folder. I'm going to recheck that it's a PNG, and I'm going to call this pump, and this will be out. And I'll put a 3 after this because I've done it more than once to test it. So that gave us the outside edge, right? So now if we select that same shape and we do right click and set the stroke to white, did you see it get thinner? Now it cannot see the stroke, so it's 1 millimeter thinner. That's a 0.5 millimeter outside and a 0.5 millimeter inside. Now all we do is return to export. Once again, we want to make sure it's the PNG. This one's going to be called in, and I'll keep the 3. That way it's easy to organize. I know it's a PNG, and we're going to export. Now, once again, we could export SVGs, but Inkscape is too smart and it would have the exact same shape. This step right here is what makes this all come together. We're going to switch to Pick SVG. It's useful because it makes SVGs, but it's not as smart as Inkscape was. Check this out. Upload a picture. Let's do the inside first. Open. We do not want this double line one. That is what we started with and deleted earlier. We instead want the internal one, and I'm going to choose internal too. I just like it a lot. Now we hit download SVG. I'm going to call it pumpkin, and this was the small one. Of course, let's put an A after it so we can keep track of which one is the new one. And we're simply going to upload the other one and do the same steps. Open. Once again, it shows us both edges, which would be a problem. Internal 2 gives us the solid one. Download, and instead of pumpkin small, I'm going to call this pumpkin large. And just to make it speedy, I'm going to put a 3 after it so I know which one is which. So now we've got the 2 different SVGs. It is time to move to Tinkercad. Of course, if you're looking closely, you can see I've been testing these for a while. I'm going to simply hit Create New 3D Design. We're going to call this Pumpkin Cake Pop. And then we're going to choose Import. And we're going to choose a file. And we want to bring in the small and the large. I'm going to start with the small one. We do have to switch to art. And instead of typing the dimensions, we're going to use scale. This is super important because it keeps those same dimensions we had a minute ago. I want this to be about 50 millimeters or 40 millimeters across. So I'm going to type 20%. And by luck, I got my 40 by 47. So 20% is going to be my scale. If you wanted to change that, notice if you just hit 19, it keeps tweaking it. And what the heck, I'll stay with 19 just so you can see how it works. We click import and then wait patiently for the importing to happen. Bingo, there is shape 1. I'm going to pick a different color for it just because that'll help us in the next step. I'm also going to make it a tiny bit taller. Now we're going to choose import, choose file, and we're going to grab the large one. Once again, art, and then that important step of picking the same percentage. I'm going to do 19% and choose import. Once again, we wait patiently for it to show up. And when it does, check it out, they look the same. But give me just a second here and make these colors different. We're going to switch to flat view and go to the top. And if we zoom all the way in, exact border, just like that. We've got a 0.5 millimeter all the way around because remember it was a 1 millimeter line. So it's a 0.5 millimeter this way and a 0.5 millimeter this way. Of course, you can upgrade the quality of both by bumping that up and bumping that up. And now we're going to use these parts to make the cake pop mold. First, I'm going to go back to perspective view. I prefer that when I build. And let me show you how this becomes a cake pop mold. First thing, I'm going to nudge that over. Remember, if you do shift nudge, it goes 10 times as fast. Now I'm going to select this one, change its thickness to 1.5 millimeters. That's how thick the back of the cake mold is going to be. I am going to do Control D, and I'm going to make the second one, a duplicate, the outer line. It defaults to 5, which is crazy huge. I'm going to change it instead to 1. You could do 0.8, whatever you choose for your wall thickness, that's where you type it. I do want to make the corners round, and I want to keep that max, of course, for the quality. And then this is going to be the outer edge of your cake mold. If you want it to be 35 millimeters for pushing through a large cake, you can do that. I'm going to set mine to 20 just because I want it to print quicker. That's the outside of our mold. Now we need to add a hole to it. I'm going to bring out the whole cylinder. I'm going to shift squeeze, and then I'm going to set that to size 15. That makes it 15 on a side. I am going to click on the sides and make it as round as I can. And then I can select those 3, choose L for a line. I want to make this one the master, and I want it to be centered and centered. Take a look at it from the top. I don't really like that, so I'm going to click on it. It did the math with the base and stem. I'm going to just eyeball it. So it was 2 clicks down or 3 clicks to get it exactly where I wanted it in the center-ish of that shape. All right, so we need a push-pull. We're going to make ours with the ogive. When you search up here, you just type ogive. Here is the ogive. You can notice I made it a favorite. I'm going to cruise it out on top of this shape, let go, and then I'm going to shift squeeze one of these corners. So I want this to be less than 15. I'm going to choose 12 and press enter. And then I want this lined up with this centerpiece. Shift select, L for align, make that hole the boss, and of course center and center. And then I'm going to drop it to 0. But notice I'm super happy that it was taller than this shape. That way it's easier for me to select it and lock it. This is how locking works. Now when we grab these 3 and we group them for 3D printing, check it out. The ogive is still sitting there all by itself to be our push-pull. We can now unlock it, and I'm going to do Control D. I'm going to do Control up arrow to raise it up, and I'm going to use the mirror tool to flip it, just like that. That is going to be our push-pull. You can use Control down and Control up to get it at the exact height you want. Now we can select this piece, Shift select our whole project, L for align, make the mold the boss, choose center, adjust the part that's going to push to the thickness that we want. I'm going to say that I want that to be 2 millimeters thick. And then we're going to hide this and simply grab these 2 and use Control G to group them. Let's hit show all to bring the 2 pieces back together. With that completed, let's export it for 3D printing. Let's click on the shell of the mold, choose export, just the selected shape, STL. Note you do have to wait sometimes for it to export. When it does, pick your save location. Mine is always the 3D modeling, and this is going to be the cake pop outside. And then we need to make a modification for the cake pop inside. I'm going to do shift nudge to move this away because I've got it marked. Now I'm going to double click to edit my project, and I want to click on the pumpkin piece, and I want to mirror it. When we click outside, it becomes permanent. And then here's what I want to explain. When we push this through the cake pop, this will be flipped the other way. Real quickly, I'm just going to show you. Let me demonstrate it fast. I'm going to rotate this 180 degrees. Remember, if you hold shift, it is only 4 clicks. And now you can see how this is going to push through there once the print is finished. Don't skip that step or you will be unhappy because you'll have the push-pull on the wrong side of your project. We're going to click on this now though and do File Export. Once again, just the selected shape, STL, 3D modeling folder again for me, and this will be the cake pop push. And save. Now we can easily bounce to Bambu Lab Studio or whatever your printer is using. We're going to create a new project and we're going to import those files. I'm going to choose import and I'm going to start with the cake pop push. And now I'm going to add the other half, the cake pop outside. I do not want these on top of each other, so I'm going to do Control A. And I'm going to arrange them separately. Just for fun today, let's print this in different colors. I'm going to hit Objects. I'm going to click on this one. And I'm going to print it with the red. And I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to print it with the black. I think that'll show up better when I'm showing this on camera in a bit. That's the only reason I'm switching colors. I do want to show you one other cool feature, though. I have no need to worry about colors mixing, so I'm going to shut that off. And here is a fun tip for speeding it up. Instead of print by layer, we are going to print by object. That way it's just going to do one at a time and it doesn't have to switch on every layer. Notice they are too close to each other. So all we need to do is move them away from each other so they're not running into each other anymore. I'm going to do that just with the arrow keys. We can hit slice plate and then of course print plate and send it to the 3D printer. Of course, after a moment, it moves to the device menu. And you'll be able to see that it is downloading. And once it completes, you can click on play and monitor everything from afar. And let's check out the results. Remember, this one goes in stem out. And check out how precise that is. Bam! Now you can push out your cake pop just like that. A sweet Inkscape Tinkercad and SVG combo. Friends, as I wrap up, I want to send a huge shout out to Christina. She was the one that asked the question. We worked through this and found this technique. It'll be useful for everything where you're using an SVG. If you're doing name signs or LED signs, this technique will make it so that you can get an easy fit for whatever your project is. Just remember to take whatever that outer line is, and half of it is going to be the gap left over. You can adjust that for whatever 3D printer you're working with. Of course, friends, I also want to thank you for watching. Don't forget, every time you click that like button, share a video, or tell a friend about HLModTech, you're making the channel just a little bit larger. Of course, have a glorious day and keep tinkering. Friends, as I wrap up, I do want to say thanks to all my supporters on Patreon. I also want to remind you about my website, HLModTech.com. I've got a page dedicated to Tinkercad with tons of amazing categories. Below that, you'll find the day one favorites, the useful starters, and the Tinkercad Essentials. If you scroll down just a little bit further, you will find my course, Tinkercad in 20 Days. It is hosted on cadclass.org. If you check out this video right here, it tells you all about it. I do also want to highlight there is a sweet coupon code, HL25 Tinkercad. It'll get you 25% off any of the amazing courses at cadclass.org. You can visit the site by clicking this link right here. I do also want to highlight the sweet built-in messaging tool. Friends, you can click that button, add your question, comment, or suggestion, and reach me almost instantly. Finally, friends, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Please also hit that share button so more people can learn about HLModTech. Of course, friends, you absolutely make my day if you take time to leave a comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button, and last but not least, hit that notification bell if you want to be the first to know when there's a brand new video from me, HLModTech. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.